Because Bambi has been hiding a whole child, and it's not his fault. Scrappy lost it, flipped a whole damn table, destroyed a glass, and yelled so loudly that the neighbors phoned the police. Got smacked with the decade's biggest betrayal. Not a rumor, not a guess. A secret child with a whole different man. And Bambi never said a word. He learned about it from a leaked direct message, not a discussion via a screenshot that arrived at 2:47 a.m., instead of in person. Who is this young guy referring to as your mother? Stevie J has been too silent, and suddenly Bambi froze and didn't blink, saying, "Boom mama deeds on Instagram, live crying real tears, and throwing Bible verses like confetti." He's not only heartbroken, he's dangerous now, and this isn't even the beginning, since there are suspicions that he knew the entire time. The streets are talking, and he's being feisty. Lying about a child, you little Scrappy sat on the edge of his bed phone. Don't just break trust, you light the whole damn family on fire. The room was silent, the kind of silence that shouts louder than any words could possibly say. In hand, eyes were locked on the screen as though attempting to wish the message away. There was a single text message, a picture attached, and the caption, "Thought you should know." The picture was obvious. Bambi, his wife, was carrying a toddler that he had never seen before. The youngster looked a lot like her, with the same eyes and grin, but Scrappy knew in his heart that this child wasn't. His fingers trembled as he texted, but got no response. He called twice in a row to voicemail, and the walls seemed to close in as images of their wedding day flooded his head. The vows made and the birth of their children have all been tarnished by this news. Determined to find answers, Scrappy drove to their house, which they formerly shared but is now a house of "we need to talk," he said, holding up his phone, and Bambi, who was astonished to see him, stared at the picture. Her face was a mask of emotions, including amazement, remorse, and terror. "It's not what you think," she said. Bambi paused before confessing that the child was hers from a brief relationship, but she had kept it secret throughout a period of separation out of fear of being judged. "Then explain," he insisted. With the weight of betrayal pressing down on him, Scrappy fled without saying a word, dreading the end of his family. He felt the ground move beneath him, the lady he loved, and the life they had made suddenly cloaked in falsehoods. As the word spread, fans, friends, and relatives began to question Bambi's secret child, shattering Scrappy's world. The media quickly picked up on the issue and began making headlines. The stage was set for a drama that would enthrall the globe, and it didn't take long for everyone to ask, how could this happen? What would Scrappy do next? The picture of Bambi and the toddler became viral after copies were shared on Twitter before the internet began to analyze every aspect. Anonymous websites claimed to have the entire story abruptly changed, with one account even leaking a phony birth certificate with the father's name stated as someone quite similar to Stevie J. As in Bambi's suspected business partner, the man who had been inexplicably spending time with the family for months, people began to piece together the alleged work-related vacations Bambi had taken. The mysterious posts Stevie J made last year, including pictures of baby shoes, a bottle, and a hushed remark that said, "Big blessings loading" on the evenings she wasn't home. Could it be that the story developed when Mama D stepped in? She wasn't going to sit back and do nothing, so she went live that same night. Before she even spoke, fans were leaving comments, and she didn't hold back. Warned everyone that the woman wasn't the proper fit for my son. She shattered her voice, trembling with rage. "I knew there was a snake in the yard, and now it's biting everyone." Stevie J is the one who started the conversation. The father was cheating on Bambi the entire time, so Scrappy needs to get that baby a DNA test as soon as possible. However, Mamadi wasn't finished. She stated, eyes wide, "This is deeper than y'all." Believe that there are records, talks, and contracts that were signed in secret after my son was set up. And suddenly, this wasn't just a scandal. It was a "this ain't no rumor, this is real life my son," she remarked as the live stream went on, hinting at treachery from those closest to them and those they trusted. I received voice messages, DMs, and receipts. Is devastated, everyone. He called me last night in tears, and she paused and wiped a tear, sobbing like a child who had just lost everything. His moment struck differently, and you could sense the hurt and betrayal. Despite everything crumbling, Scrappy had vanished from social media and made no statements, which naturally made matters worse since when the world is silent, it can be heard loudly. Is observing, and as the rumors continued to spread, anonymous insiders began to come forward. One of them asserted that Bambi had been leading a double life for about 2 years. Another source who claims to be close to the Love and hip-hop production team is Stevie J, who is paying for the child's upbringing in a separate apartment, said that this plot had been purposefully kept secret to preserve specific people's reputations. But now that the truth was out, NDAs were falling apart, blogs were devouring it, YouTubers were having breakdowns, and the fans they picked either Team Scrappy or Team Bambi. But there was one thing that everyone could agree upon. Little Scrappy was having a breakdown, and everyone was watching. Lil Scrappy finally made a comeback on day 3, but it wasn't what fans had anticipated. There was a single heartbreaking Instagram post with a black screen and a caption instead of a live video or statement. Everything isn't always as it seems, but pain is always real. The message went viral in a matter of minutes, and fans, bloggers, and even celebrities began to speculate about what was going on. Before everyone could breathe, another bomb was dropped. An anonymous whistleblower came forward to a dubious blog site with information concerning Bambi. Was the report true? They presented photographs from a birth certificate showing a child with Bambi's characteristics as evidence. And the real stomach punch was that the father's name was not Lil Scrappy. The blog stated that the child was born while Bambi and Scrappy were still dating, and it even claimed that Bambi concealed the baby by pretending to be on vacation. The internet went into meltdown mode, vanishing to an Arizona healing retreat. But the retreat, yes, that was a private maternity suite reserved under a false name, resurfaced with Steve J's name, but not as the father, but also as the person who reportedly assisted Bambi in hiding everything. Fans discovered a terrifying backdrop when they delved into one of Stevie's old Instagram stories from that era. When you thought things couldn't get much messier, Kirk Frost appeared in the chat room and abruptly shared a video of a wailing baby that sounded exactly like one of Bambi's daughters. Some individuals enjoy playing family games, but when the truth is revealed, no names or tags, but everyone knows who it was directed at, then the screenshots and private direct messages appear. Screenshots between Bambi and her purported baby daddy appeared, showing her pleading with him to be quiet and not destroy what she had created. One message even stated, "I'm just trying to protect Scrappy. He doesn't merit this." Mama D, who never stays quiet, went live on Instagram with a glass of wine and the rage of a mother when the streets were on fire by this point. "Betrayed, you lied to my son," she said. "That's not loyalty, that's cowardice." If you don't air this in the upcoming season, Mona Scott, it won't end there. When people queried why Stevie J was even participating, Mama D flashed a look straight out of a telcom. "And I promise I'll release the video myself. You think I'm playing that baby, and her cheekbones are just like hers. Because he's been involved more than you think," said Nala in a whisper. Viewers were shocked by the exploding hypotheses in the comments, which included Bambi being in some, even alleged that Erica Dixon was somehow complicit in a lengthy scam that claimed Scrappy was the biological father, but secretly ceded his rights since, In the meantime, Scrappy's team eventually issued an ambiguous statement requesting solitude as Scrappy deals with recent events that have had a significant impact on his family. Until then, truth has a way of coming to light. Peace, but there was no peace at all. Another blog post revealed audio, yes, real audio, of a furious phone conversation between Scrappy and Bambi, in which he was sobbing and yelling. "How could you tell me lies as if everything we had was genuine? I did what I had to do, you wouldn't," Bambi said in a tone that was too calm. People who had previously criticized Scrappy for his prior transgressions were suddenly showered with support when he said, "Understand you broke me." One fan wrote, "You were lied to stay strong, king. You didn't deserve this." In the meantime, the purported baby daddy came out, albeit not on a significant stage. He went live on TikTok from a parking lot, pacing and trembling as he spoke his truth. "I don't want fame or any of this, but I won't allow that woman to continue deceiving me. That's my motto. If you want it, Scrappy, I have DNA proof, baby. I'm sorry you had to learn this way." The following morning, screenshots of the paternity test results were shared. Twitter was flooded with confirmation that the baby was not Scrappy's. But even more shockingly, the child's name was a direct combination of Stevie J's and Bambi's middle names. At this time, the entire Love and Hip Hop franchise was under scrutiny. Fans were calling for Mona Scott to speak up, and former cast members began to weigh in. K. Michelle tweeted, "Told these people were incredibly messy years ago, and there was nothing genuine going on behind the scenes." Joseline Hernandez even uploaded a video. With the caption, "So the deer had a baby," the user burst out laughing. And until 2:00 a.m., one night, Lil Scrappy remained mute as everyone else laughed. "I would have taken a bullet for that woman if I truly loved her, but instead she stabbed me in the back above my head." He went living in a dark room, breathing heavily and crying. "I'm not going to sit here and play victim because I committed mistakes too, but this devastated me," and the discussion exploded with affection. "We love you, Scrappy. Keep going, you deserve better." I had to start over after he unexpectedly terminated the live stream. The following morning, followers realized that all of Bambi's images had been removed from his profile, along with all of his memories and posts. The next 48 hours felt like a battle to continue, and it was even more striking when he unfollowed Stevie J, Kirk, Rashida, and finally, quietly, Mona Scott. Bloggers were unable to keep up with the cultural earthquake, and fans began creating conspiracy videos and watching previous Love and Hip programs. I'm trying to piece together hints that point to awkward silences and side eyes, as well as mysterious phrases that Bambi once made, such as, "Some things are better left off camera," everyone thought. For television, it was drama, but now it seemed prophetic. And just as it appeared that everything would be settled, an unexpected new voice joined the conversation. Yes, Erica Dixon is Lil Scrappy's ex-girlfriend and the mother of his eldest daughter. Instead of posting a dubious tweet or going live on Instagram while drinking wine, she uploaded a comprehensive YouTube video. Title: "I attempted to alert him." "I remained silent out of respect for her," she added, as she sat in a softly lighted room with a calm yet firm voice. "But now that everything is in the open, and I have to be honest, Scrappy is a nice man who didn't deserve this. I also told him years ago that I didn't like anything about Bambi." She paused and appeared to be dead. Within an hour, the video got 500,000 views, with supporters calling her the most genuine and applauding her honesty. However, he didn't listen since he believed I was being resentful. Even Mama D, who was well known for her problems with Erica, uploaded a video with the words, "In the meantime, Bambi remains silent and does not post." Nothing was said, But then with a sudden twist in the scheme, the accused co-conspirator, Stevie J, did what Stevie J always does. He tossed gasoline on the He Went Live from a studio shirtless with a drink in hand, laughing as if the commotion thrilled him. He set the entire freaking match on fire, but no one was displaying receipts. Everybody wants to act like saints, but behind the scenes. He continued, "Oh, that's a completely different movie." Someone in the chat asked, "Did you assist Bambi hide that the internet interpreted that as a yes, even though he chuckled? Hey, listen, I've helped a lot of women hide a lot of things that ain't none of your business." Even worse, a blogger shared an old, never-before-seen picture of Bambi and Stevie J holding hands in a hotel lobby in Vegas, a few weeks prior to Bambi's untimely Reddit exploded with theories after avid fans quickly identified the dots. Was Stevie J the baby's father? Did Bambi trap Scrappy as a cover? Or was the marriage a planned move? Afterwards, another bomb was uncovered. This time from a VH1, a leaked casting call that revealed Love and Hip Hop Atlanta was preparing a special reunion episode called Secret Scandals and DNA. Fans went crazy over the idea that the entire group would get back together to discuss the topic. But the worst part was that it would be filmed live, unedited, and broadcast in real time. Shakespeare in a strip club, dirty, raw, and terribly entertaining, was the new reality TV. Meanwhile, Scrappy went radio silent once more, and his team issued another Scrappy has stated that he will not be taking part in any reality shows at this time since he is concentrating on getting his family well and getting legal advice. Yes, that section was sent. With everyone in a downward spiral once more, there were whispers that Scrappy had applied for full custody of his kids, with Bambi alleging deceit and emotional anguish. And according to an informant, he was even thinking of bringing a lawsuit for mental distress and false paternity claims. It sounded dramatic, but given everything else completely plausible. And then the voice note appeared. This enigmatic audio recording purportedly originated from a phone call between Bambi and an I Just Needed Time, says an unidentified acquaintance in the video, a woman who sounds uncannily similar to Bambi. "I didn't want him to raise a child that wasn't his, but I couldn't do it alone. Stevie said he'd help me fix it." The internet required headlines that shouted, "Bambi confession leaked," and I believed him. The audio that YouTubers produced was recreated by TikTokers. Timeline Breakdown's Twitter made the remark into a meme, and I thought he had put it over images of well-known betrayals. At this point, the story had moved beyond mere rumors and was already a cultural event. And then Bambi finally spoke up by posting an image of her Notes app on Instagram with a succinct but impactful statement. "People often manipulate stories to suit their amusement. I'll always keep my kids safe, even if it means losing everything. You can think whatever you want, but know that I did what I had to do." The post had comments disabled, but that didn't stop the criticism since Mama D immediately uploaded a video of herself responding to Bambi's statement. She read it out in a mocking manner, saying, "Oh, I did what I had to do." Stated in a mocking manner, "Daughter, stop talking. You did what you wanted to do, and in the process, you ruined my newborn child." Even celebrities were unable to ignore it any longer. 50 Cent, who is always willing to stir things up, shared Scrappy's last live stream with the remark, "Dan even Ghost ain't," and tweeted that the Bambi Scrappy drama had more twists than a Netflix series. Enjoy this level of treachery. But until one final Instagram post, Lil Scrappy remained silent amid all the commotion, memes, outrage, and betrayal. Changed everything. Fans saw right once that the struggle wasn't finished, but was only getting started when they saw the black and white picture of him with his daughter. As the world waits for further leaks, film, and possibly even a legal confrontation, but one thing is certain. Little Scrappy won't be dying quietly after everything he's lost. This story is far from over. Not after what he's learned, because sometimes a man's broken heart turns into a weapon, and Bambi may have believed she had buried the truth, but the truth never stays. It digs itself up, climbs out of the grave, and knocks on your front door while wearing a wire. Tell me, are you on the side of Scrappy, or are you still holding onto your faith in Bambi? Please share your ideas in the comments section below. We're going to release audio next week that makes this sound like a love story, so please share and subscribe if you have any thoughts. All right, family, now that you've heard all the crazy this Lil Scrappy and Bambi story has many twists and turns. Here's what I want from you. Don't simply sit there and be engaged. What are your thoughts on this hidden child? Lil Scrappy played a bombshell. The brains behind all of this is Bambi. Mayhem, or is there something more sinister? Hiding underneath the surface, send your the most outrageous theories and hottest takes in the comments. As I read each and every, if you're here for the drama, don't bother. Nobody else knows the truth or the secrets. We'll instruct you to hit the like button, as if your life were on the line, and don't forget to ring that bell and subscribe. Ensure you don't miss the next time we drop bombshell update. I promise you, this tale is still ongoing, and you wish to be the first to be aware of the next shocking revelation. Keep in mind that this channel is your front. Even the most startling, uncensored, there are real or fake celebrity scandals out there. Bogus, we dissect it without any filter and zero chill. So grab a seat and click subscribe. Then prepare for the journey till the next time. Remain inquisitive, remain cautious, and keep those receipts are ready for peace.